So in our headlines today, we are getting to your top consumer stories. Millions of Americans could see smaller Social Security checks within 6 years unless Congress steps in. A new report from Social Security's trustees says that the program's retirement trust fund could run dry in late 2032. Now, if that happens, Social Security would not disappear, but incoming payroll taxes and other revenue would only cover about 78% of scheduled benefits. These findings could add pressure on Congress to come up with a long-term fix for this program.